Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Chief Minister and Minister for Corrections. We have heard you speak regarding the rising number of prisoners and the challenges with accommodating this 18% rise over the last 5 months within the current correction system. We know that action was required as far back as 2017, with continued distress of the system throughout 2020, 2022, and 2023, including using police watch houses to avoid creating new beds in our prisons. Despite their spin, Labor sat on their hands and ignored the rising numbers. The Treasurer tells us that spending in the justice system stagnated, failing Territorians and enabling a crime crisis. Can you please update the House on what action you are taking to build capacity to manage the rapid increase in prisoner numbers?
Minister for Corrections.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Member for Casuarina. That's a great question because I know that you are concerned about community safety, as all the people on this side of the chamber are concerned about community safety. And it seems to be, Madam Speaker, the previous government had no concerns about community safety because they let it go through the roof. They made the Territory one of the most unsafe places to be, to a point where my wife was fronted with a man with a knife. I'm sure there's lots of people in here who've seen or heard of these violent acts which shouldn't occur in any capital city, never alone in our town of Darwin in the Northern Territory. So shame on you. Shame on the previous government from letting us get into this situation because it's just an absolute embarrassment. Madam Speaker, for 8 years the former government ignored the mounting pressures and leaving us in a costly crisis in relation to corrections. Overcrowding in our prison system is a legacy years in the making. This is not a new problem. Madam Speaker, in 2017 it was obvious that action was needed. There was a report in the Darwin prison that back in 2017 it was at 99% capacity. So this is not a new issue. And yet the Labor government had no idea how to fix it. In fact, I heard a rumour their plan was let him out early. Let him out early. Had cabinet discussions, and I'm sure the member for the opposition leader would remember that, because that's what I heard happened in their cabinet. Just let him out because we can't deal with the issue. It's so embarrassing. Madam Speaker, there's a report, the Paget report in 2020 about the riot. There was going to be significant issues, and again, no action taken place. Just let it go through the keeper. Madam Speaker, today prison officers still face the challenge of finding beds, and we are doing something about that, Madam Speaker. We are bringing on beds at the Berrima Correction Centre and the Youth Detention Centre in Holtz and also in Alice Springs. Madam Speaker, I just remind you that the Youth Detention Centre in Holtz was 2 years late and $70 million. $70 million over budget. The 96 beds in Alice Springs, Madam Speaker, it was budgeted at $20 million, came in at over $32 million. That's $12 million. Madam Speaker, imagine how much that could have been used to keep the community safe or to increase capacity or to develop staff. And instead, because the previous Labor government failed to manage the projects, that blew out $70 million. $70 million. Yeah, they trashed it in literally 27 minutes. So all this planning and all these experts are oversaw by the previous government, and I think the member for Khoda was the Corrections Minister. He oversaw that, and the Cabinet knew that they were spending this money, and yet they failed. We are building capacity into the room. We've already added 164 beds in the system. 48 in Berrima will open this month. Another 100 beds will come online at the end of the month, and of course the 96 beds will be added to Alice Springs in the very near future. This is a crisis